All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official first kind of episode of Missing the Mark. Obviously, Matt's and Mark had to take a hiatus because of all the things that are currently happening in the world, but today has been a very historical and dark day in professional wrestling. And before we jump into this and introduce everybody, I want to make it very clear we're not trying to take advantage of the situation. We know a lot of people are losing their jobs right now and they're going to be facing a very hard, difficult climax. But right now, we are in the wrestling business. We understand how things are going as well because we are dealing with it in our own personal ways.
Yep.
There's some of us are wrestling journalists and we have ties to this. So we felt the need to come out with a podcast to really express what is going on because it's been an absolute crazy week for the WWE and wrestling in general. So let's get right into it.
Absolutely.
It is always your boy Hollywood Hogan. I am joined by the commissioner and the owner of GCF, Joseph Saint, RJ Wallace, and our ring announcer Quincy Jones. So let's just jump right into this. Who wants to take this shot at it first? I mean, it's been a crazy day.
I mean, all I'll say is piggybacking off you, it's a real tough day to be a wrestling fan. It's a real tough time to be a wrestling promoter. I don't have the full list. I know, I'm sure you do. Let's get right into it.
I have it. I have it. Yeah. It's about like 20 names, dude.
So, and let's say this. Prior to this releases getting listed, W put out a statement saying furloughs were coming. Then directly after this was a name of releases, not furloughs as far as we all know. Because they gave them the whole best of luck in all future endeavor treatment.
Yeah, 100%.
Which doesn't sound like a furlough to these guys.
It sounds like we won't see you down the road.
Exactly, best of luck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was weird, dude. I woke up, it was like 5 names off the bat. It was Karl Anderson, Drake Maverick, Lio Rush, EC3, and who was the other guy?
Was it Heath right off the bat or no?
I don't think
Heath was a little later.
Yeah, it was later. The dude with Ryder, wasn't he the tag team partner? I forget his name.
Oh, Kurt Hawkins. Yeah,
Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah. Which even then I was like, wait, they're gonna split up.
The
tag team, and then like, especially when I was like, wait, they're gonna throw away. Not want to say throw. They're gonna release Carl, but then not release like Luke. And it was so right then and there again because I already had like knowledge about the big contract they just signed, and I was thinking like, why? And then so I didn't really understand what was going on, and then these names were coming in like crazy. Like my phone, literally like probably every 30 seconds, it was crazy.
It's very reminiscent to when W would have their yearly spring cleaning, and this was back in 07, 08. It was the mass one.
No,
but I can't think of anything.
Sale, bro.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. Like, this is like, I mean. Especially when you learn about the fact that Vince had sold like some of his stock for like damn near cheap, and you're wondering,
that's the point. Dude? You had him just declare bankruptcy on the XFL.
It's anyone else know like this is totally see through? Does he not understand this is totally see through? Like he's not doing a good job.
No,
this is the guy that's supposed to work it. Like I don't know.
He's just following the footsteps of his good buddy, WWE Hall of Famer, number 45, Donald Trump.
Well, and you just said, again, we tried not to get too political, but again, you just had Donald Trump drop his name during his speech 2 days ago. He said the great Vince McMahon was how Trump let it be.
Bro, like
he just added Vince to his little committee to help bring back the economy. Yeah,
all he did was just accept some money. Okay, let's just keep it real.
Yeah,
they paid him $18.6 million to the PAC to be deemed essential. Like when you watch that whole the OC committee from Florida, actually, like that person first of all, I was pissed off because I hate reporters who don't even know like their news. So you got that one guy who was like, hey, the WWE just had a wrestler that tested positive. I'm like, no, it wasn't a wrestler.
No.
At all. You know what I mean? It wasn't at all. But
do we know more about that? Because I heard Graves, but I didn't get a confirmation of that.
That would make sense because he's probably the only
guy. They said it was a personality, not a
personality, not anyone on the roster. Yeah.
I thought maybe like Greg Hamilton, Mike Rome.
There's a rumor that it could have been, I forget her name, but she works for ESPN too.
Oh, you talking about Charlie?
Yeah, some people were saying it might have been her.
Honestly, like social media. It's Sarah Schreiber on Raw, which was weird. She was all over.
Oh yeah, Charlie hasn't been on First Take like for a while, so
I think she went like 5 or 6 days without anything on social media. People are pointing out that was kind of weird for her. Yeah. She's usually on there. A lot of people are mentioning her as well. I mean, it's just.
Did she get it from Andrade? She's always on his. She's always on his.
Don't plant those seeds, man.
I'm sorry,
Don't
Angel
plant
Garza.
those seeds, dog.
We know the power Charlotte has, man. She'll handle that real quick. But back to these, man, like Karl Anderson and Luke Gallows, like you just brought up, they just signed a 5-year, $750K deal.
They were just at they were in the WrestleMania match, so I was like thinking, like, wait,
who else been in the main event of WrestleMania, and then been fired like 2 weeks later?
And then I think the most damning because the first name I saw was Drake Maverick. I was like, wait a minute, I just saw him get announced
exactly
for
in the
cruiserweight title tournament.
And I was just like, and then I think like Saint was saying that, oh yeah, he's pretty much still gonna do the match.
Well, he put out a message, and it's a heartbreaking message. He's fighting back tears in this, and he says, he thanks WWE and then says, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna wrestle in this tournament, and it might be my last match. And he said that, and I'm like, wow. That's heartbreaking within itself, because I hate hearing that these guys that they're made it to WWE and they think that because they're let go they have to give up on their dreams. That's bullshit mentality.
Well, it's funny because then you equally get a lot of guys that get there and then they kind of like, oh, okay, this is it, and then they're like, yeah, this isn't the end all be all. Like guys like Austin Aries and people were like, dude, I mean, I'm not praising Austin Aries, like, and I am a fan, but you know what I mean? Like, there's people that get there and they're like, yeah, they like to say, oh, you guys aren't cut out for the wrestling life. So like, no, WWE is just a machine. Like,
exactly.
It
isn't what it's made out to be. It's not the dream that they had.
Everyone's expendable in that company.
It's not as advertised, 100%. Yeah,
well, it's like WWE has always been presented as the major leagues almost, in the way where you made it, you finally have your chance. But I mean, I think people like Cody, people like Pac have all proven that there's a way to kind of get out of there and still branch out and build your character and your brand and make money still. I think that concept of, oh, you have to be in WWE to make the big bucks, I think that idea is out the window. So it does suck to see somebody like Drake Maverick crying like this is the all end for him. Yeah. It's like, dude, now, you have many opportunities. Maybe not right now, and I completely understand that concept of like, hey, let's be honest, none of these companies are going to hire them right now. Everybody's pretty much shut down. So I get that standpoint where like, our steady paycheck that we were getting is now gone. And there's no really way to bounce back. I can't take a booking somewhere. I can't go sign somewhere and sign my autographs. I can't do anything where I'm just stuck at home waiting for this quarantine thing to pass through. And then when that does happen, they will have a plethora of opportunities around the world pretty much. They can go to Japan, anywhere pretty much. But just right now, it just sucks because like that paycheck is gone for them. Right. And I know a lot of them want it out, but right now it just makes a lot more sense for them to get that check.
And even more for him, I know it was a couple months back, but he had a wedding, so I'm sure he's still
really his wife on television,
100%, and she's a wrestler too, so I'm sure. I mean, but I know she's used to wrestling like overseas and stuff. Oh yeah. And so I'm sure she's not getting any bookings. I don't know how I know she's a model. I don't know how she's getting photo shoots done and all that stuff. So. It's just certain people, like a guy like Karl Anderson, I'm not worried about because that guy's been about his money. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Well, and the two of those guys, they legit get their pick of any place they want right now. They really do.
I just don't want to see them underneath a Jay White driven club hierarchy.
This is what I was going to ask.
I would love for them to get back with the Tongans and just jump everybody back.
Now I did see Tama Tonga immediately tweeted and said for life and had the bullet sign.
Sweet,
too sweet. Now my question: I've kept out of the loop of Japan. So what is Japan wrestling doing right now? Are they done?
They're not.
Okay.
I from what I heard that they weren't putting on shows right now, but then I just saw that I guess New Beginning came on the other day or something. So I don't know if that was like they put it on as like just for people to watch like something old, but
isn't the country of Japan opening up soon? Like
I think so.
They keep saying it, but I mean
they're doing better than the rest of the world right now.
Japan was one of the first to come back, but then I guess like a second wave hit. But they're able to control the second wave and get a lot more testing.
Was that a tsunami punchline?
Oh, geez.
Damn. You got to watch yourself, man. You got to watch yourself, bro.
We made it to the 9-minute mark of this episode to get a topic. Missing the mark. Episode 1.
Oh, man.
No, last I checked on New Japan, they pretty much canceled 2 shows for the month of May. Okay. So I think they're just taking it time by time, and I think at the end of the day, that's why we feel bad for a lot of these guys. Like I just brought up, it's like it's not like you could see them anywhere right away. But when this does clear up, though,
but yes,
the
when it clears up, absolutely.
Yeah, the Revival will bounce up, and they'll get a job probably with AEW. For the love of God, please don't get hurt with you.
I was gonna say a lot of people are like assuming that, oh man, let's just scoop these guys. I'm like, yo, but they're gonna have to. At this point, AEW is gonna have to make some cuts themselves, dude. Like,
Absolutely. And that's
they've been paying people pretty good too. So
but in terms of like, if the Revival are really gonna go there, or if they're gonna like, whether the OC goes there, or even I don't know if Epico and Primo would go, but you know what I mean?
No,
like,
Carlito. They're gonna go to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, of course. But they would have to make some room. They already have 12 teams right now in their division, which is, you don't think so, but when you count them, you're like, whoa, shit, there's actually.
But they're all used. They're all tag teams that can't necessarily take most.
See, I like the hybrid too, but no one else does.
Yeah.
I don't.
I've
always been a fan of Jack Evans, but
I think they might do better in Impact, huh?
Yeah.
Have they been banned on AEW recently?
No, those guys are like the MVP of Dark next to like Sean Spears.
Yeah, I was like, they're mostly on AEW Dark. Like, the last time they were on Dynamite was probably like on the Go Home to Revolution, maybe.
And it was a while till they used Havoc too. But I mean, he's been bugged the last 2 shows. I mean, he's supposed to be booked next week too again.
Well, it's a little sad that lately I'm enjoying being the Elite more than I'm enjoying AEW.
Oh, dude, being the Elite has been good.
Being the Elite is exactly what I had a vision of doing if I had the capability of getting wrestlers to still wrestle. Which, we'll see.
Get a house in Rancho.
And book the PWG ring.
Yeah, get the old PWG ring, and we'll
talk to the champ. Talk to Caddy. Caddy knows him, right?
Caddy knows all them.
Hey man, I mean,
if Simon Lotto can get on there, we can.
Dude, right? Yeah. Dude, I mean,
and that's that. All right.
We did get some more names added, which was crazy. So we had Eric Young that got added.
Which that's not surprising.
I mean,
he hasn't been seen, and he was part of the group of guys chasing after the 24-hour championship.
Well, they had David in the producer role last I heard too. That he was in the.
That's
they weren't using.
Well, yeah, Eric Young just never really got a chance.
I know you'll get to him, but I'm going to say it right now. I'm very upset about Aiden English.
Yeah,
I think
he's not upset about it. He actually was very jovial about it. Like he wasn't. He was like, oh. It's time to get back to
attach himself to Rusev right away and go anywhere. Just get that pop.
He could go to MLW and win Contra with Simon Gotch.
I loved him as an announcer. I think he was the closest to Jesse Ventura that I've ever heard. Like, he was great commentator. Good.
Yeah, he was great. I mean, I feel like they were like, well, he's on a show that we don't really need to keep paying to put on right now.
Right.
So.
Meanwhile, David Otunga and Coach still have contracts. I'd like to point out.
Coach
and Byron Saxton.
Well, that's because of the ESPN deal, isn't it? Or is he not even working for ESPN?
It could be because of ESPN, but still.
I was actually surprised about the Rowan one. I thought they were just going to keep him and make him
be he was in line just 2 months ago for a major push, and we all heard that Vince McMahon was very high on him.
Nah, once Drew killed his spider, that was it, bro. That was like, well, dang, what do we do with Rowan now?
On screen killed his character, like 100%, and like 2 characters in one match. It was crazy. What's actually one of the ones that surprised me a lot was Sarah Stock. And for those who don't know, that's Sarah Del Rey, former women's wrestler, Canadian wrestler.
She's one of the coaches at NXT, right?
She's like the only coaches for the women's wrestler. Like, she's been there since the beginning of the PC. Like, Triple H has bigged her up over the years as being like real like pertinent to the growth of like the women there and stuff. So that's why I was like, okay, she must be getting furloughed or something. But I don't know, because there was like 9 other producers.
A writer that wrote the Otis storyline was just reported.
I saw that. I was like, yo, what?
Which is storyline that went all the way to WrestleMania, and now you're out of a job. So that's like.
Yeah. And it's funny because Vince is lately he's real ratings heavy. So it's like if it hits ratings, then he's like, that's good shit. And then now the good shit's over, and it's like, okay.
Yeah. It's like, that was good shit. Who wrote that? You're gone.
Lance Storm, Shane Helms, Sean Davari, Scott Armstrong, Pat Buck. I was surprised. That's a legend.
Scott Armstrong is gone?
Scott Armstrong's gone, yep.
Mike IRS.
Billy Kidman.
Billy Kidman. Billy Kidman has been tenured for
since OVW.
Yeah.
Yes, like that's why I was like, he has to be getting some sort of
one of the greatest cruiserweight champions of all time.
Agreed.
I think some of these guys are definitely going to be back. I think they strike some kind of deal.
Well, that's what. Yeah, I think based on what Lance Storm said, he literally said, "Hold down the fort till I can get back." Which
Vince must have watched
producers have been
2000 on the network and said, "Let me let go of these motherfuckers, man."
I think yes, the producers have been furloughed. I think the boys, if they were told something, they're gone. Yeah. Based on everything that they're claiming. Even Gregory Helms kind of makes it sound like he's not going to come back.
Yeah, that sounded pretty serious.
Yeah, when he tweeted, I should have answered that phone call.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you probably didn't get your cuff. Finley. I mean, you have to sign Finley.
Finley, who's responsible for the women's revolution. Let's be real.
He literally co-signed Becky Lynch. Like, he's the reason
made Trish Stratus a wrestler.
I was like, dude, he gave all these women these huge pushes. Like, it made them stars. Like, how do you not?
Do you think that you see like AEW? If any of these people aren't furloughed and maybe they're free on the table, do you think maybe AEW might even pick some of these producers up?
I think it goes in between AEW, Impact, maybe even Ring of Honor.
I'd pick up Sarah for sure for the women's division over there.
I would pick up Billy Kidman right off the bat because
I was thinking about
talent.
I was thinking about that, but how do you think he's going to feel walking through the doors and watching people doing his finish like in a standing
all the time
position?
as like a regular? I mean.
I was thinking it was like, oh, you're just gonna do my move and just not even pin? Okay, cool.
DDP's had literally everybody doing the cutter every damn age.
Right. Oh yeah, true.
I mean, it's Shawn Michaels, how Petey Williams feels.
Those dudes.
Dude, Petey's probably the worst, right? I feel like Petey never gets his due, bro.
Have you seen people commenting and like tagging Petey Williams and like every time someone does a Canadian Destroyer, and Petey's just like, I intended for this move to be one of the greatest finishers of all time, but now it's
that's what
it's just a transition.
Rob Van Dam is on the greatest run of his life because he's pointing out everything that the business has stolen from him. Oh, I love that.
It's good. Like I've been watching a lot more Impact and like catching up.
It's true.
And see, I feel like Impact has done this thing the best as far as all companies because they tape 2 months in advance in like 2 or 3 days. Yeah, they just filmed some stuff last week because I follow Ethan Page.
Johnny Swinger's back in there.
Johnny Swinger's back.
I saw him. I was like, is that Johnny freaking Swinger? And he's like, the swing man, all these rats around here. I was like, oh shit.
And I could see Impact signing more of these guys than AEW.
Oh, I think EC3 will go to Impact before AEW.
I think so too.
Have you checked out EC3's IG page?
Yes, I saw the promo he cut.
What'd you guys think about that? Yeah, that's what
I think it would be a good look for him, dude.
I mean, the one thing I was thinking is that possibly the Major brothers, Hawkins and Ryder, I would think that maybe they would end up there only because these guys idolize WWE. You know what I mean? Like that's all they like. That's what. So I'm thinking, how would they be able to work and still keep the door open in their mind to be able to come? I mean, because they wouldn't get forgiven if they went straight to their competition.
I just don't think Zach's got another choice. Cody's like one of his best friends. I think Cody already wrote him a hell of a tweet.
You want to
bring the man over
Six Flags again?
And I think what works out for Kurt Hawkins is
every time Cody posts about Ryder, he says he's way too buff to be in a jobber gimmick.
Yeah.
So,
and what works out for Kurt Hawkins.
So was Alex Silver. Or John Silver. John Silver. John Silver is a short man with build. Like, it's weird.
And he's not much good at anything. So no.
What are our thoughts on Kurt Angle?
That one was shocking. I mean,
main event mafia, man.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, bro.
I'll be honest. I'm a little surprised with how not shocked I was over the Kurt.
Yeah, I saw
because
Kurt
I read his name. Yeah. I wanted to get angry, and then I just kind of sat here and was like, well.
Yeah, I got mad, but then I was like, well, his last match was against Baron Corbin at Mania.
And was he even doing anything, honestly?
No, he was just on the roster.
Agent, but I don't even think
he was quarantining, playing the little guitar and doing Jimmy Crack Corn. Like he's been at home, so I'm sure he's like, oh, it was just a Legends deal, whatever.
Yeah, I don't think it was really that work.
And what I was saying about Kurt Hawkins, I mean, what works out for him is when he got fired the first time, he had the school, so he trained a lot of these top indie guys, back on the East Coast. So
I think Hawkins will go to TNA because
he already had. Technically, he was part of the global force thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like we haven't seen him before, and he already has this Brian Myers thing going on for him. So
the King of Kings, Brian Myers. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know why a lot of these guys who have like these big wrestling schools, that came from the WWE, Machine. I don't know why AEW and Impact don't use them as their developmental facilities or something like that.
We touched on it that AEW is going to have to release guys. I'm going to tell you right now, the first cut, which Artie should tell you because I don't remember his name, is Perfect 10. What is his name at AEW?
No.
Sean Spears?
They're not going to
I think Zack Ryder is going to get Sean Spears' job. That's the truth.
I doubt that because Cody is pretty good with it.
He's friends with him, but he hasn't been able to make
my thing about Sean Spears. I just don't think he came into his character.
MVP of AEW Dark. No, honestly, you guys are gonna laugh at this, but what I think may happen is he may be the guy that's gonna be bringing in the Revival if they come in. Because if you think about it, he's been looking for tag team partners, then he comes up with 2, and then they're freaking the whole stable managed by Tully.
I can see that.
Oh yeah, because I remember one of them wanted to work with Tully, right?
That could be the little stable right there.
They're the modern brainbusters.
But then again, that's just another random stable in AEW that will be used for a week. We won't see them again.
They'll find it out.
Let's just hope that Eric Rowan is not part of the Dark Order.
It's so happening.
Rowan and Harper, dude.
Bonner, or he goes
let's
be part of that.
Let's not get it twisted. But AEW definitely needs a second solid show if that's the case. They're gonna bring all these guys in. They need a second. They need a second show.
That was part of their contract. That was part of their extension contract with.
That's coming.
They need an AEW Thunder or what's.
What I've heard about the second show is that they're just gonna turn AEW Dark into the second show.
It's smart.
Are they just gonna call it AEW Rainstorm? Are they gonna?
I have no idea what it's going to call, but it's going to be AEW Dark essentially because they're saying, why are we going to just leave it on YouTube for free?
No.
We can have that second option.
They can still drive traffic to the to the YouTube and still get people to watch it. So
just do what WWE does.
Continue the list because we got a few more. I was going to say I feel for Heath because I don't know anyone that is going to grab him personally.
Dude, me neither.
It would do great for him to go to Impact and reunite with Rhino.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing.
Kind of bring down Rhino
a little bit, but Rhino's not doing anything.
Rhino can't get any lower at this point, bro. he literally. First of all, did you see how Rhino came back into the company? He was still under his 30-day no compete clause and came in and gored somebody with a mask on. Yeah. As if we don't know who it is. So
his white ass body just fucking.
All I'm saying is I really hope Impact offers EC3 everything that they have. Because he can go anywhere he wants to, but Impact needs EC3 now.
I don't think that he would fare well on AEW just because they already got MJF.
Well, that's the point. He would either team with MJF or feud with MJF. That's all he would do.
It would essentially be the same character, and it just wouldn't clash.
If there was any continuity behind it, though, EC3 would have to come back vengeful as hell, towards Impact for letting him go. Yeah. It would have to be a huge sense of reality towards it, but you let me go to the big company and I didn't thrive there because of you guys.
Is NWA operating right now?
No.
I don't know. I haven't watched NWA.
There you go. I would send Heath Slater to NWA.
Honestly, I think he would.
There it is.
Dude, team him up with Zicky Dice. Boom.
Yeah.
I've always kept my eyes peeled on Ring of Honor too, because they've been wanting to add some more talent. I think they're going to try to poach some of these guys as soon as they can.
But can they pay these talent? That's
on time.
What's that Ring of Honor budget looking like?
Bubba a few months ago already wanting Kanellis, so
yeah, that's Bubba saying it though. How much stroke does Bubba have right now?
I don't even think
they pretty much want him gone at this point.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I didn't think Bubba was even still affiliated because he was on the bump the other day, wasn't he?
He was on the bump. Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, he's still bitching and moaning that Marty is pretty much taking kind of control already. Still mad about that, taking shots.
Dude, it's a regime change. It is what it is. Get over it, bro. What you tried to do didn't work. So
no, you failed. You pushed your girlfriend.
The alert.
Marty's ex is a free agent now, so we might see.
I think she's gonna go home to Marty in the book for sure.
No, I mean we could see.
Wait, who's Marty's ex?
Deonna Purrazzo. Oh no, not the ex. His girl current.
I thought
Are they not together no?
I thought they weren't.
Oh, I thought they were together. So I could be wrong.
Let me find out, Marty. Shit.
I could see her also going to AEW too, because they need way more women's talent than anybody else.
She would be legit if she went. I mean, I don't know if. Look, I like Crazy Mary Dobson. I don't like Sarah Logan. If she went back to that gimmick, I wouldn't be mad if she showed up in like AEW, maybe get like managed by Luther, even though I don't even like Luther or know who he is.
Yeah.
Luther Vandross? What?
Yeah.
Ain't he dead?
Yeah.
Luther Reigns?
Sarah Logan might like go around the independent scene for a while. They're saying.
I think she should honestly rebuild her stock. I mean, because she was hot, dude. Like we were sponsored at the same time, and then when she got signed, it was dope. So, but then to see what they kind of did with her, I was like, all right, she just got her arm broken on Monday.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh yeah.
We're all keeping peeled to our phones, by the way, too. I want to point out because we want to see if more NXT releases come at any moment here.
Yeah, I'm like scrolling through Twitter on.
Yeah. Lio Rush is an interesting one.
Dude, that one was like probably the most. Him and Rusev, I thought those were the two most glaring. Like you should never let those two go. And then I was like, anybody could just.
And the Rusev aspect is because we all knew he wasn't signing the extension. So I mean that was an easy move on
Rusev
their part.
hasn't really been happy there in like a year. Like,
what are you talking about?
Just a storyline. I don't see why he would be.
Yeah, like
he's been giving that storyline a glowing review this whole time.
Man, the thing about Rusev that sucked is that they're saying he gave out like $10 million to like the people that are like now getting paid in WWE.
He was giving out $20,000 to like people who weren't making, and then boom, now it's him. And I'm like. I hope y'all remember where y'all, who was helping you guys out. You know what I mean?
That's the guy that I could see ending up in New Japan.
Oh,
I would love him in Japan. Like him versus like Tomohiro Ishii, him versus Suzuki.
He would be built like a monster over there.
Oh, absolutely.
Built so
Rusev joining Chaos. Whew.
Think of what Japan did for Albert that made him a legend.
I was thinking if he went to the Giant Bernard route, I thought for sure that he would do pretty well. I mean, again, I wouldn't mind if him and Aiden ended up like clicking up at some point. And maybe he can get
Aiden becomes his Finn. Oh,
well, I was thinking maybe he gets one of those Matt Hardy type of contracts where he can go in AEW and wrestle for New Japan. And
I think that would probably be offered to like Gallows and Anderson too. I think that's something that they'll probably
absolutely. I would
Gallows and Anderson as the bridge for AEW and New Japan.
I mean that's something.
Marty hasn't been the bridge for Ring of Honor and everybody else.
He's been trying, but I mean, because I remember he was supposed to go against Jay White, and it just never happened.
No. Yeah, I think Marty did more to bridge NWA and ROH, which no one cared about.
Yeah,
which
Marty probably did that on accident. It was like, well, I guess we got to work with these guys now.
Can I get the title? Come on.
Yeah, I was like, all I wanted to do was wrestle Nick Aldis. I didn't want the rest of this shit.
Speaking of which, you think they're gonna? I'm surprised they didn't. I mean, not that I wish it, but I'm surprised they didn't let someone go like Mickey James.
I'm waiting on that. Except she's probably getting this.
She's a producer, isn't she?
That's true.
So was another 9 guys that got fired.
My brother was like, oh, they should have for sure got rid of Alicia Fox. I'm like, dude, I don't even think she's been there. I think she's like been sent home for like.
Well, she went to rehab, so she might be a little.
Oh, she actually went.
Moment. Yeah.
I know they were trying to get her to go, but she was just like she basically was like Carlitoing the whole thing. Sorry,
bless her heart.
She's crazy, bro.
And everybody on Twitter has brought this up. Why is Lars still under contract?
Well, he's injured. I get that's what I said too. But everyone was like, "Oh, it's because he's out with an injury."
And Marina was on maternity leave, though. Like, are you?
I don't make up the rules. I don't make up the rules.
There's probably some. If he brought up that he has a mental illness and he's playing that card, they don't want to be the ones to release it.
What's his mental illness?
First, it was that he was scared to death and had
mentally fucked from being publicly embarrassed. That's what it is, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy's life. I can imagine. I wouldn't even want to be that guy. Like after that shit, after this hit, I was like, dude, it's already bad enough. All this other shit.
What? And then he's a racist gay porn star. That's on him.
Yeah,
that's not our fault.
I'm not saying it is.
Why not just add him to the list of guys that you're already releasing?
I mean, I agree. I'm just
Yeah,
I'm naming guys like Kurt Angle, Lio Rush, Rusev. Like, come on, just add that.
Well, I guarantee Lio Rush is an attitude thing. I think his attitude finally got the best of him.
I feel like Leo's been teetering for a while.
Because he's been dropping, like he's been at home dropping mad promos, and they've been all good, all just entertaining.
Oh, I know. He's been pushing for him and Lashley, and I wanted to see that.
I wanted what they were doing Bobby now, yeah. I mean, Leo in MLW or AEW to me makes the most sense for him.
All right, I'm gonna throw a pitch out here, and this is totally not because they're black, but maybe put him with Private Party.
It would make Private Party interesting.
They're all around.
It would give them that edge.
They're all the same age right now. You know, they're all young. So that's the thing with Lio Rush. He's so young. He has he's probably the youngest guy on here that got released.
Well, look, I'll put it this way. Look, I live in the real world. I know who we can't afford. I know that guys fresh off WWE are going to be asking for a bit much. However, when it comes to Lio Rush, I know that you're Topanga's favorite wrestler. I know where you went to college. I'm just saying, come home, bring Topanga to a GCF show, and we'll talk. We'll talk about this booking.
Come back on the Pussy Joke show.
Is that what we're going to put in the booking email?
Yes.
We're going to pay you with Topanga and
he's going to pay
college
me
reunion.
Process. I will up what we can afford if he lets me know that Topanga is going to be at a GCF show. It's a bargaining chip, and it's a bargaining chip.
I mean, we might as well hire or book Mike Chioda too to be our rep at this point. Shit.
I mean, we need referees, so let's.
I can see Chioda getting a reference from Hebner and Impact.
Yeah.
What if they do Kyoto versus Rick Knox in AEW?
Oh,
for the head ref.
I can see that on BTE.
Like
on BTE, I can see that shit.
Mm-hmm.
No way, Jose.
No.
Who?
Yeah. Seen our Impact.
No, I think he's gonna go because he used to wrestle down in Puerto Rico too with the Epico and Colo. He was actually a really good heel down there. So I could see him going back down there easy.
He was a heel?
Yeah, we never even got the chance to see it. Yeah.
Damn, no way.
yeah, way.
So you can't see it
because I said it. Because I just told you.
So
I think that was it.
Yeah, for now. We'll see who else they cut at this point. From a standpoint though, man, this is a tough week for guys like Vince. I mean, let's summarize this. XFL bankruptcy. Nobody from the XFL was paid. Now he's trying to sell the whole brand. Good luck on that one.
Now let's talk. Like when you say no one was paid, weren't they given guarantees at the start of this though?
At the start.
Some of them had downside. Not everybody gets downside guarantees, but some of them do.
Yeah, but everybody else that was working for them up to the point where they said that they're closing up shop, none of them got paid. So XFL, which by the way, Vince many times for the last 5 months said WWE had no attachments to the XFL.
I'm glad you brought it up. I'm glad you brought this up, man, because I saw this. I was like, what kind of freaking insider trading ass shit?
And let's talk about
4
that.
months. This dude is telling us there's no attachment.
There is some real legal shit involved in this.
Yeah. I'm not even happy. Dude, that was just the beginning of the week, the XFL stuff.
Bro, like it's weird because when I saw this stuff, and then again, you were just talking, you were pretty much briefing this whole week for him. I mean, you got to add into the fact that he had a Dark Side of the Ring episode that pretty much.
I was going to get to that. I was going day by day. It's barely Wednesday.
Yeah,
and Monday we started with the XFL. We get the whole, we get the news that the sheriffs from Florida actually showed up to the PC Center, and Vince kind of just ignored it. Money was moved around. Depending what number you hear, something was given to the Florida government with Vince's wife working for Trump. That declares essential business and media.
This is a Dark Side of the Ring episode.
Again, you had Donald Trump in his speech drop the great Vince McMahon.
Right,
literally his words. And the president, the great Vince McMahon.
And look, mind you, if it ever happens. If Donald Trump ends up going to the Gulag World Court, Vince's name is going to get brought up in his persecution because he let Vince give money to a state to let him keep running. It's a whole collusion thing.
And that's the thing. It's like, look, it's hard to not be like. a fan. I want to see this stuff keep going on. You know what I mean? I don't know what I would do if I wasn't watching wrestling amongst everything else that's on standstill. I'm not getting any new Bob's Burgers. I'm not getting any new Rick and Morty until next 2 weeks or next. I just need something, man. And
but here's the thing. This is what the network is for. I got through all, and I'm not even joking. When I got through 1997, Raw and every pay-per-view. I'm halfway through 1998 now. This is what the network is for.
I'm getting through 96 WCW right now.
And it's such an easy thing to book because I keep bringing up the whole 25-year anniversary of Triple H, and just the old Triple H shit. You have Zoom, Skype, and things like that where you can bring in your talent to kind of react to what's happening during the time.
Because what giant moment are you going to book one for no crowd? You think The Rock is going to come back with no crowd? No.
I mean, Stone Cold, dude.
We're still that was
to put Becky Lynch over. Like The Rock The Rock isn't going to come back to put Triple H over in front of no crowd during quarantine. He has like 10 movies to promote.
It's all about
he can't get sick.
It's all about the ratings.
He can't get Vin Diesel sick. Come on now.
Well, it goes into the whole this whole week for Vince. So we see all that happen with Florida. Bullshit that they're essential business, but whatever. You got the money. The check went through. Happy for y'all. You get your show. Raw is live. Then they're going into having a freaking 6-man and a 6-woman Money in the Bank ladder match that they're building to.
Which they first claimed was canceled the night after they day after we were
but now that the check is cleared, Money in the Bank is back on. So
it's back on now. I was like,
we get to Tuesday and we find out that this dude helped Jimmy Snuka get away with murder.
Okay, can I just ask you guys?
I've known about that for years. Seriously, when I heard that, I'm like, oh, that's not new.
Dude,
I knew that.
I gotta ask.
When that part came up on Dark Side of the Ring, I was like,
guys,
oh.
Look at that. Who was it? The lieutenant or that police officer? You're like, bro, you're so full of shit. That guy that keeps talking about,
he's like, he started fidgeting and looking up to the ceiling and shit when he was bringing up. Can you make it more obvious that you're lying?
And then he's like, oh, really? Because the guy that was just in his house just said there was a third guy in the car. I never heard that. I was like, oh my god! I was
like, third guy in the car.
Not that one. Vince going to Snuka and telling him, hey, don't worry, it's all gonna go away.
Out with a briefcase. So I'm like, you grease those wheels. So,
it's just the timing of the whole thing. And then we get to today, which is okay, you had the live shows because all the TV deal bullshit that you're coming up with. Even though, look, man, you should have built a better product. The company's ratings have been dwindling way before this even happened. So there's a reason why Fox and MNBC and USA would consider even changing the parameters of the TV deal. But the whole point of you continuing to go live was that you're trying to keep the company afloat. And then you come out today with over 100 personalities, talents, people that work for the company gone. So it's
that's why everybody was saying this whole ass backwards. Like, you went through all this trouble to be deemed essential only to fire all these essential employees.
Yeah, it's like, oh, well, we paid $20 million so we could be essential, but hey, we're also gonna fire 100 of them. But hey, it's okay because we're still essential, which is like, man.
No, but they had a separate fund for situations like these.
And by the way, they're saying they
pay all of their employees.
$4 million. By the way, $4 million is what they're claiming that they saved today. They've paid Goldberg $5 million for the damn Saudi show. It cost almost $8 million altogether.
What?
For Goldberg, man.
Wait. The one he just did against Bray?
No. Oh yeah. That one cost.
I was like, you got $5 million to drop the Undertaker on his head, bro.
No, you got $5 million for the Bray one. You have to consider they probably got another $3 million for the WrestleMania one. So you're talking about $8 million for 2 Goldberg matches. It's being reported that Tyson Fury got $15 million from the WWE. Cain Velasquez got $5 million to wrestle one match
on a torn ACL.
But if you can call that a match, yeah.
And they just signed Rob Gronkowski. How much I'm supposed to feel bad for this guy? So look,
they should have dropped Rob Gronkowski. What the hell, dude? He's not essential.
It's been a month since we've been in this situation, and every other wrestling company or sporting event has been shut down and canceled. In a month since this has happened, the WWE has had live shows, pre-tape shows. They aired WrestleMania for 2 nights, and they signed Rob Gronkowski. And now you're telling me you have to save money? You're the ones that just signed a major deal with Fox, and you have WWE backstage.
Let's point that out too. Now that wrestling has been deemed essential in Florida, you could claim that any wrestling company could go there. But I guarantee if they do that, they'll get shut down.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
I guess wrestling's not essential.
Tony Khan's family.
I think professional wrestling. You know what I mean?
Tony Khan's family owns the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they have a facility that AEW's ran shows from before. So can AEW do fucking Double or Nothing?
I mean,
at
that's
Bailey's
what
place?
my point is.
Well,
That's what my point is.
With no problem?
In 5 weeks they can. They're hoping in 5 weeks they can have an empty pay-per-view show.
I think they're gonna. They announced that it's gonna be in the Garden Arena.
Yeah.
And they changed the date. I think to like a week or like 6 days after. It's supposed to be the 29th now.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But then you have companies like Ring of Honor and MLW came out today. They're not working in Florida, which is smart by them.
Yeah, I agree.
So, it's just weird because they gave away all these like free WWE accounts that we pay for all, and I was like, imagine if you would have charged everyone for those to watch Mania, maybe you would have got a little extra cash. But I get it. They lost a lot of money on Mania. They didn't have anybody there to buy anything, no merchant, no natural that commerce that's always there that whole week. Nobody's buying tickets for the Hall of Fame. No one's buying parking. No one's.
Vince McMahon.
Which network
did they just
give? They just gave away the Ruthless Aggression show to one of the networks.
FS1.
It's going to be on ESPN.
It showed 3 episodes last night.
Vince McMahon is a billionaire, okay, who is best friends with the president, right? Wife is in the cabinet.
Yep.
WWE is still at the one company. It's third to Apple and Amazon, who sells the most merchandise on their website in the world. Okay, they have the WWE Network, which is still in like the top 20 apps on on iOS, Android, just every streaming service. They have all these outlets. They have NXT. They pretty much monopolized all of the UK. You telling me Vince doesn't have enough money supply? That's bullshit. Like,
well,
Vince
think about
has
how
money
many
coming out of everywhere.
Well, think about how much people he's paying just to not use them. I think
that's
if they
that's
ever get an excuse to thin out their roster, then this is it. I mean, because we can't argue that they've been overpopulated with all the said. Yeah, I mean they've said that there's more talent than lockers at the PC. That's ridiculous.
But that's what you get for trying to start 5 different brands going at once too.
Yeah, no.
That's
mark my words.
Signing random talent every foreign country they go
will be canceling a brand. Now the easy one is 205 Live, but I'm still watching out for NXT UK. It's the truth.
I mean, honestly, like they should just let those guys go. They're all probably taking. I mean, I don't think any of those guys are exclusive over there, anyways, because you see most of those guys still wrestling for Progress.
Yeah, I was like, that would be better for that brand anyway, because. They've talked about it time and time again that NXT UK literally killed indie wrestling in the UK. Like, no one can really wrestle.
Well, but again,
else.
You had a situation where instead of buying these companies in the UK, they've rated the talent and they work deals out with the ones that they wanted. So they're loosely working with the companies that they don't feel like killing yet, but they've already made all those companies sign contracts saying that if they ever were going to go out of business, they have to offer to WWE first before anyone else.
Yeah,
it's doing what they've always done.
I don't feel like everybody that's saying, "Oh, it's part of what's happening because of the corona and the economy." I don't buy it, man. Especially when this dude just wasted $24 million on the XFL.
He's a billionaire. The economy was catered to him by
and
his
he's being
friend.
name dropped by the president of part of this whole team. You got a bunch of commissioners from sports, a couple of sports owners, Dana White's crazy ass, and then you have Vince McMahon who just filed for bankruptcy and just fired 100 employees.
Yeah. And these guys are supposed to help bring the economy back. Dana White too, who just got a show canceled.
Yep. Disney got involved in that one.
This whole thing is crazy. Like, I couldn't help but think about it earlier today. That imagine if this happened when there wasn't social media wasn't a thing back then. Like, if this was the attitude, you know what I mean? Like, all these people leaving at the same time will be super bizarre. You know what I mean? But it's weird because it's I don't know, man. Like I feel bad. Like I said, it's just one of those things where it obviously a lot of it doesn't add up, and there's a huge money trail that everyone's ignoring and walking around and acting like it's not on. You know what I mean?
That money trail is going to come out. Best believe.
Oh yeah, and I
heard people that got fired in those offices.
I mean, dude, Martha Stewart got took down for that shit. I mean, granted, she has a great successful show with Snoop now, but I mean, that's what she went down for.
But she still did 4 years in the
dude, you know what I mean? Like the fact that they said that he sold his shares for next to nothing, 10 days before this shit came out. It's like, bro, you know.
He's been moving the money like crazy.
Yeah. Linda sold her shares in January.
Yeah. Expect WrestleMania 37. No, not 37. 38 to be in Florida.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
It will
It'll be back in Tampa. Yeah.
A lot of people are speculating that LA is not going to happen.
Well, yeah,
because the governor.
The mayor said today that
the governor
live events.
But he said
till 2021.
So when?
Late 2020.
Oh, late. Okay. I didn't get the late.
We're thinking
part.
like midsummer, or not the terrible movie, but like midsummer of 2021.
Not the terrible movie.
But
now again, for fans of GCF watching and going, oh, does that mean GCF can't run for a whole year? I'm gonna tell you right now. No.
Yeah, I was like, we're not WWE. We can
we're advised to hold gatherings, and I'm gonna tell you this: I can find ways around that, and I will as soon as I can legally clear that. And if not, then we'll be streaming matches to you. Now, I'm not gonna put a date and time on that, but I can tell you, GCF is not going to go on hiatus for a year. That's as much as I can tell the fans right now. We're not going away. We're gonna find a way to hire and pay talent to wrestle. It's what they do for a living. It's what's going to happen.
Piggybacking on what he's saying, I've gotten confidential emails from the mayor of Buena Park about slowly
name drop, dude.
Slow. Nobody knows the
great mayor of Orange County.
Nobody knows the mayor of Buena Park.
Yeah, him and
Jesus. But they're coming up with plans to get businesses opened, and if as far as like high schools or like businesses that hold crowds or sports teams, they're going to come up with a plan, on a smaller scale to kind of keep things going. Because they're not going to cancel high school sports for the kids who work their asses off and everything. But they're saying in the next couple months, once things start slowing down, we'll be able to open up. We'll be able to hold smaller gatherings. So like the whole social distancing thing will still be in effect, but it won't be 10 people in the crowd. Like we can have, like it'll be a minimalized number, but we'll still be able to run a manageable operation with following guidelines of whatever's going to go on. But we have to wait till May 1st to see what's going on.
Right. Or give them a cut like
Vince by week, it's.
If I can find an investor that can give me 15 mil.
I was gonna say, where's Declan at with all you need?
I heard Declan's in hiding right now. I think all the investors.
Let me just get a joint call with the investors and Gavin Newsom real quick. See if we can work something out.
The investors are seeking everyone that they know. They're gonna cast some spells. They're gonna see who they've got under their thing. Either way, we're gonna see what they can do. I'm not at liberty to go into details.
Honestly, guys, like I'm a little bit worried for Vince. Like I feel like not since the steroid trials has he been in such a precarious position like this.
I think he's.
The Benoit thing almost put him in some pretty hot water too.
Yeah, that's true. But that wasn't their fault, obviously. They just didn't freaking know. But
that was just like negligence of the company to
100%
push ahead without getting the info that they needed to get, and that was
this is hardcore negligence.
I think
that was once again Vince saying the show must go on and we must push through.
This ain't negligence. This is intentional secret hiding.
I can just see Hunter and Stephanie hiding in the wings, being like, "No, let them go. This is working in our favor. Just let it happen."
Oh, total Homer backing up into the trees on this one. I see that. Yeah.
Well, I bring this question for you guys.
Just a tear in his eye. Sorry, Pop.
Well, I'm going to bring this question for you guys. Do you think this is the straw that finally breaks the WWE's back to the point where it's like we finally see a leadership role change?
Oh, this is definitely...
So I think this is the moment of WWE is not going to be seen as the end-all, be-all in wrestling.
100%.
It's just not. You've lost faith in it. It's just not going to be what it once was.
I mean, you take into account the fact that didn't like last year, or this year kind of started with them firing the president.
Vince fired everyone. Yeah,
and then it's like you fired the president because they didn't agree with your vision for the company, and then this is your vision.
Yeah, this is also the thing. This is what it's chalked up to.
The stocks dropped when the XFL started.
It's for years.
It's been a perfect storm.
Vince has had people in the company that were scared to tell him no, that were scared to challenge his authority, that were scared to be like, look, this isn't the right decision.
Bruce Rich.
They were taught to just sweep shit under the rug. Yep. Vince would let his money talk for him. Vince would let his connections talk for the company. And that, if you've ever seen Wolf of Wall Street, does not end good. Okay, this with Vince, this is the end of Wolf of Wall Street. Remember this? Yeah. Remember the scene where they're on the yacht?
Yes.
And super choppy waters. And Vince is asking for the lewds right now. He's not going to die sober.
I will not die sober.
He just saw his emergency plane get struck by lightning, and he said, "Yo, I need the lewds right now. Stephanie, go get the lewds. Go get the lewds."
You know what's crazy? Okay? You would have thought that they would have been like, "Well, why don't you get rid of your freaking $1 million private freaking charter jet since you need money right now?"
How is he going to get out of Saudi Arabia?
Told,
and that's his problem.
To take cuts, they didn't even ask anybody from their main, the heads of the company to, hey, let's take 30% off.
Shit.
They're just like, no, fire who we got to fire and get them out of here. Pretty much.
Exactly.
You have the Disney CEO taking a massive pay cut so that all of his employees can still keep getting paid. And then you have Vince McMahon that's like, bankruptcy for XFL and fire all those people.
This honestly, it feels like a desperation move on his part, right? Like this does not feel like a Vince McMahon calculated Vince McMahon. I mean, unless this is not, this could be him losing it right now.
When has Vince McMahon ever made a calculated move?
We talked about
when he bought WCW.
The Fox
we talked about several of the legal issues here for Vince, and there are several different things. But again, if you file bankruptcy for one company, which is XFL, and then try and parade it like two different companies, meanwhile WWE own part of that, that's one major thing that's going to come against him. Just one of the major things.
Also, that is something Donald Trump did too.
Well, and that's just what I was. Yeah, Donald Trump has filed bankruptcy more times than I can even name. Look up Donald Trump's stakes. It didn't go well for him.
Damn. I think 50 Cent has filed bankruptcy quite a bit too. Well,
at least Donald Trump. At least 50 Cent made a hit TV show to kind of balance himself out.
Sadly, Trump did too. That's how he got where he is.
True. Yeah, you're right.
No one gave a damn. Ripped off Vince saying you're fired.
Yeah,
goddamn right.
Really, Vince and Trump do owe everything to each other.
They're just paying each other.
Donald Trump is the reason Vince McMahon won the ECW championship. I just want y'all to know that.
I can't believe that happened. I guess they're bringing back bad memories. I guarantee if we had a video, a live footage of the Connecticut offices, you would see boxes and boxes being burned.
Oh yeah, it's the end of Wolf of Wall Street, man.
And just like you said, Hunter just being like, "Oh, it's finally here, man. Father Time has finally caught up to this senile bastard. Now it's my turn."
That's the thing about Hunter, though. Hunter's gonna take.
You got Hunter. That's like, and you just tried to demote me a month ago. You
bastard. I was just gonna say, but I was gonna bring that up. Do you think that demotion was to give him a deduction in pay? To try to move some money around?
You know what?
It
could have been a calculated move.
That's what I was thinking.
Because
they came from out of nowhere.
Yeah, I was like, you demote someone because you know some shit is coming. The heat isn't on him, so Triple H just goes back up. Okay, Vince. All right.
He's trying to play the game. You know what I'm saying? He got it. Ooh, he got it.
Dude, when
cerebral assassin.
You do this, we give you a celebration.
Again, see, if you want to paint that picture, then it makes sense why Heyman is getting pushed to the top. You have a guy that Vince has never really liked suddenly getting pushed to a point where he's like, oh, he's higher up there. Blame him.
And Paulie knows how to fuck over a company. Let's be honest now.
Somehow Shane's name is written on everything.
Like that, 100%. They think he still deserves it. You're right.
Bischoff heard about this a year in advance and was like, well, I'm just going to take the money and not do my job.
You find out that Heyman, Pritchard, and Shane got all fired together because there was some embezzlement.
Right.
Buddy, and Vince was just a senile old man with dementia that couldn't get past his prime.
Oh, they just gave me the paper and I signed it. I didn't know what I was signing. It's like, okay, Jimmy.
That's the first time Shane is actually acknowledged.
Right back on.
Yeah, I was like, if that's on Dark Side of the Ring next season and that all comes out.
Oh.
And Shane's like, yeah, Kevin Sullivan told me this was gonna happen. You know, he called me one night and said, look, Chris Benoit told me, shit was gonna go down.
Standing over him. Don't worry words. Don't ask any questions.
While I was praying over his open casket, I was talking to his spirit.
Ouija board out and everything. So look, again, like I want to mention also, look, again, this is an absolute day that we're always going to remember in wrestling history. It's something that's going to, leave a stain on the WWE, which means a lot. I mean, we're never going to forget that what happened during the COVID-19 crisis, that WWE was literally like, we're still going to keep going. Show must go on. Going to fire a bunch of our talented people, a lot of guys who never had a chance. The whole brass ring thing bullshit. They never were given the opportunity. And now they're let go. And we're always going to remember that they chose to send these guys out with no paychecks instead of making sure that they were taken care of.
Well, it is worth noting that the people who got released, they're still under a 90-day. And I was surprised. I was like, dude, you guys are releasing them and their contracts aren't even up yet. Like, it's not like they are asking for the release. You guys are like basically liquidating the value of, you know what I mean? I'm like, that's kind of fucked. And then NXT gets the 30-day, which is cool. So it's not as much and they're free to do what they want. But I mean, I think I sent it to you guys in the chat. It's kind of fucked up. It's, I guess, a lot of, they're supposed to be making cuts tonight, and a lot of these guys are going out there not even knowing if they have a job next week. And I'm like,
the decision was made to not tell anyone they're getting cut until after the taping.
And I'm well, what do you think? What do you think they're going to tank the show? They're not going to tank the show. They gotta keep building up there. I mean, if they know something's coming, and they obviously know something's coming because everybody has social media now, it's like they're going to still put out one hell of a show because they still got to build up their stock in case they're headed elsewhere. And
it could be their last chance to show anything to maybe keep their job.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And usually, in this case, they would just, freaking squash these guys out, job them out on the way out and make them look, worthless. But I don't know, man. I think that's who I feel the most sorry for is like, I feel like because it's NXT, not just NXT, but like the roster and personnel and coaches and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just feel like there's, I talked about it earlier. There's a lot of people down there, but a lot of people are down there because they either were finally discovered or this is what they really want to do. And some of them haven't even hit TV yet. You know what I mean? So, like a guy like Jake Atlas, I'm scared for that guy.
I'm about to mention that right now.
You know what I'm saying?
Dude,
like,
he just got there.
But he was the first guy I thought about when I saw that, and it's like, a guy like even, Tahuti Miles, who was just on Raw, he's been, it sucks. Like I said, it's
a
like
guy like Malcolm Bivens, who's proven he's one of the best up and coming managers, dude.
But I was like, are they really gonna insult our intelligence? And I was like, yeah, it's the WWE.
Yeah,
they usually do.
Bivens, he got released, man. That dude would make so much money out there.
Oh, for sure.
He came from Ring of Honor, but he was, I don't know what he's gonna do.
Malcolm Bivens, like that dude is a fucking trip. I love that guy.
Yeah.
One thing worth noting, it's not important, but I'm actually surprised with the way that Vince feels about him that they didn't release, and not that I wish it, what's like Cedric Alexander.
That's true, but I mean, he might be saved because of Heyman.
Yeah, Heyman probably was like, I get to save some of my guys.
Yeah, and I think that would.
He's like, I only get through.
Cedric Apollo.
Well, Apollo, I'm waiting on his release.
Well, they just started using Apollo on Raw.
Yeah, they're starting to give him a little time.
Yeah, he's in the Money in the Bank qualifying match against
MVP.
Yeah,
who has said every time he wrestles a match,
this is his last match.
He had a last match and then wrestled after that. Then had the VIP lounge to try to get Drew. Not seen again.
That's what I'm saying.
So make him an authority figure. He does great at promos.
Mm-hmm.
I won't take that away from MVP, but the man said he's on his last matches. So stop putting him in.
People were saying, I guess, an angle that was presented, that was pitched, was they might do MVP versus Drew to as like kind of a callback to their feud in TNA, because they feel like MVP is a good enough heel and would be able to get Drew over.
I'll give MVP MVP's best work was that whole beatdown clan thing. But which was
that's what made me a fan of Kenny King.
Kenny King, what?
The beatdown clan.
Well, you don't like Kenny King's male dancing? That wasn't the reason why you're a fan?
Look.
I heard some things. No.
Shout out to all the essential workers out there.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think
obviously a dark day in pro wrestling. Again, I want to make it very clear: we're not trying to capitalize on.
We're not at all. I feel for every one of these talents that's been released. I don't feel for Vince, and that's kind of our point right now.
Yeah. It's that look. We help all of these guys find their thing and are able to get what they want. You know, they have. I hope like Drake Maverick again. Don't make it seem like this is your last opportunity to ever wrestle.
Exactly.
You have an empty canvas to do whatever you want and possibly even make just as much money or more. This is probably a blessing in disguise. Look at the Codys, look at the Pacs, look at everybody else has been able to get away from WWE and still make a career out of something that maybe
100%.
Yeah, so I would say this, man. Support indie wrestling more than ever.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Now is the time to support indie wrestling, indie companies, indie talent, PWTs. Go buy their merch. Go help these guys out, man. This is a difficult situation for everybody, and it's a shitty thing when you see a company like WWE who should be taken care of and should be the one company that's like, oh, okay, I'm safe because these guys make billions of dollars and they just signed major TV deals, and we see them as the first major wrestling company to be like, nah, we're firing everybody. Kind of seems really shady. Seems really shady in the end of the owner. I think the Father Time is undefeated, and I think it's time to get rid of Vince McMahon and put some new leadership in there because this guy obviously does not know what he's doing, and the leadership skills are not there to be running a $1 billion biggest wrestling company in the world. We feel for these guys. Support your independent wrestling. We will definitely be back as much as we can. Again, Mats and Marks is on a hiatus due to everything that's going on, obviously. But Missing the Mark will be the podcast that holds you guys over as much as we can during these times, because we want to give you guys the most content that we possibly can give you during these times. So by the time it is time to start opening up the shop, we are ready and rolling to go. So ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 1 of Missing the Mark. And again, we hope everybody that was released or fired today finds a way to make money at some point. There is a hopeful light at the end of this tunnel. We will see you guys later on. I am your host, Hollywood Hogan.
Joseph Saint.